Hello everyone. Welcome to, this is gonna be like a drive with me slash story time. I was gonna do a get ready with me and then a story time, but I didn't get up early enough to have time to put on makeup, and I also had like some technical issues this morning with a Zoom class that I'm so upset about because like I let everyone down even though it wasn't my fault, and I'm upset about it because like I feel bad. All these kids were waiting for music class and then like Zoom just decided to not work, and but anyways, I'm on my way to get my monthly allergy shot. Woo! I feel like that's the only time I vlog anymore is when I'm on my way or coming back from an allergy shot. Yay! Just wanted to do a little drive with me story time kind of thing. I wanted to tell you guys a story that about something that happened to me, oh my gosh, how many years ago was it now? I want to say like at least 3 years ago. But it was at the Martinez Farmers Market, which by the way is one of my favorite farmers markets in the Bay Area. Like Martinez is so far away from where I currently live and from where I used to live, but I don't mind making the like hour-long drive to get there because it's just such a nice market, and downtown Martinez is so freaking cute, and it's just, I love it. So what happened was, ooh, there's gonna be a lot of traffic on my way home. Why are they digging holes in the street? Probably fixing pipes, who knows. Okay, so what happened was I was performing at the Martinez Farmers Market, you know, before COVID happened and all the gigs like died. You could actually perform at farmers markets and it's super fun. Sometimes you get free produce, which is a total plus, but I really enjoy just like performing and seeing everyone like enjoying the market and just having a great time. And okay, dude, I understand you're in a BMW and you want to go zoom fast, but like we're not on the freeway yet. Oh, and he's gonna pass me and try to get ahead of me. No, I ain't letting you do that today, sir. I'm so sorry. This is gonna be a story time mixed with my undiagnosed ADHD. I'm like 99% sure I have ADHD, but I can't see a doctor or anything about that because health insurance is a thing and it kind of sucks. So oh my gosh. All right, back to the story. I was performing at the Martinez Farmers Market and I was with my dad because it was a really long drive, and he just, you know, came with me to be nice and drive me and help me unload my gear and stuff because my dad is very supportive of my music career. Both my parents are. It's great. So I'm performing and I'm in the middle. So what they do in Martinez and what they do in a lot of farmers markets is they usually shut down like one of the main streets, and then all the vendors and farmers like set up their tents and stuff, and then you can just walk along the street without fear of, you know, being hit by a car, and it's lovely. So I'm set up, and the way I was set up in Martinez was I was in front of like some shops, and then at the end of the block is a Starbucks. And if you perform at farmers markets, you know that Starbucks are amazing because that's where you can take bathroom breaks instead of having to like look for a shop that may or may not be open, because farmers markets are usually on Saturdays or Sundays. Martinez is on a Sunday, so sometimes like most businesses are closed. So the fact that we had a Starbucks was great because I'm like, yay, I can go to the bathroom and like not have to go to like a porta potty or like hold it until the end of the market, which I've done before, and it's very hard to hold it for 4 hours, let me tell you. Okay, we are now getting onto the freeway. So I'm performing, and I want to say I'm like 2-ish hours into the market, and the Martinez market is 9 to, wait, no, it's 10 to 2. It's 10 to 2. So, oh, I'm so sure this BMW is gonna get in the carpool lane. Oh, they're not, okay. So, okay, so it's 10 to 2, so then that means it was around noon, and I'm like, okay, I need to pee, because when you're performing at farmers markets, you're constantly drinking water or coffee or tea or whatever you have with you. I think at the time I was drinking probably coffee that I got from that Starbucks and water, because water is important. If you're a singer, you know water is very important. So I gotta pee. And I'm like, hey Dad, I gotta go pee, can you watch my stuff? Because usually, like, you know, the farmers markets are like 4 or 5 hours, and you know, what is my dad supposed to do for 4 or 5 hours? Well, usually he just sits in the car and sleeps. Or like he brings a book and reads it, or you know, something like that. So I text him and I'm like, hey, I have to go to the bathroom, please come back and watch my stuff. Because, you know, like, I'm leaving my stuff unattended. I don't want someone to like run off with my guitar or my amp, even though it'd be kind of hard to run off with my amp because it weighs like 20 or 30 pounds. You know, or like CDs, or like my tip jars, because at that point my tip jars were kind of full. So, you know, someone could just run off with my like 50 bucks or whatever that I had in the jar at the time. So he comes and he just is there chilling, watching my stuff, and I go pee. And nothing eventful happens really. I pee and I come out, and oh my goodness, it's a woman in a BMW. Oh, okay girl, I see you. All right, sorry. I wrongly assumed that only like wealthy white men drive BMWs, and I was just proven wrong. Okay. All right, so I come out of the bathroom and I'm like going out the door, and this guy like holds the door open for me, and I smile at him and say, you know, thank you so much. And I walk away. And then I hear someone be like, hey. And I turn around and I'm like, was that to me? Because, you know, like, it's a public area. I don't know if it was to me or what, but I turn around and this woman like looks me straight, like just makes eye contact with me and is like, hey. And I'm just like, yes, hi, yes. I'm sorry, just thinking back on this is just so funny. So she's like, hey. And I'm like, yes, hi. And she says, hold on. Sorry, just crossed the toll. The next time someone holds a door open for you, don't smile at them, because you don't know if they're married, you little bitch. And I'm just like, huh? What? And she just like looks at me up and down and is like, yeah, he's married to me. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I just turn around and walk back to my like farmer's market tent, and I'm just like, what just happened? Like, I did not flirt with this guy. Like, I know how to flirt, and I flirt occasionally. I did not flirt with this man. Literally, he just opened the door for me, or like he'd already opened the door to let his wife out, and like I was right behind her, so he held it open for me, and I literally just smiled at him and said thank you, because when someone holds the door open for you, that's kind and you should say thank you. But apparently, according to Miss, like, I probably do meth lady, like, no, honestly, like she looked like she was on something. Like, apparently, according to Methany here, I was flirting with her husband in front of her. Like, I'm sorry, but how insecure do you have to be to think that someone who smiles at your husband and thanks him for holding the door open for them is flirting with him? Like, what? What? Ah! And like the saddest part was that the guy, like, while she's yelling at me, he just has his head down and looks like a sad puppy. Like, he just looks like, he looks like he's a puppy and she just kicked him. Like, it's sad. I felt bad for the guy, honestly, because like, he was a kind, well-mannered gentleman, and Miss Methany out here is thinking that, what? I don't know. So I go back to my tent, and the market manager is there too. And so I'm just like, something really odd just happened. And they're like, what? And so I tell my dad and the manager, and they're just like, what the? Like, they're like, wait, what? And the manager like goes over to like see if he can like talk to the lady, because like technically she did harass me, and like if you harass someone at a farmer's market, like you will get kicked out. Like, the manager will be like, hey, we don't want that negative energy here, leave. So he basically like went over to go find her and be like, you can't talk to people that way, like, what's wrong with you? And my dad's just like, that's funny. And I'm like, I know, it was funny. And then about an hour later, my dad goes to take a bathroom break, and tells me that like they're still there and they're arguing. And like this dude literally, like, he's flinching every time like she raises her voice at him, and it was just the saddest, most pathetic thing ever. And at that point, like, the manager, like, my dad called him over and was like, hey, like, this is still going on. And like, I don't know how they were both just like bickering with each other for like an hour, but like by the time my dad arrived, they were like aggressively getting into it. And at that point, like, my manager was, or my manager, I have a manager, I don't have a manager. The market manager was like, y'all need to leave because you're disrupting the market, or like, I'm gonna call the cops because you guys are creating a disturbance. And it was just, and keep in mind, I didn't see any of this, this was my dad. So he comes back and like tells me what just happened, and I'm like, what? So, moral of the story, if you're married, please don't be insecure to the point where you yell at your significant other in public for holding the door open for someone and being thanked by them. Because what is that? Wow. Okay. All right. I am about to turn and I'm going to get into a residential area soon. So I am going to turn off the camera and say bye. I hope you enjoyed my story about this weird situation that happened. Sorry, my camera just slid across the dash. I don't have a car mount for my camera, so my bad. But anyways, so this is one of those stories that it was funny when it happened and it's still funny years later, but I really do feel bad for the guy. Dude, I hope you like left her and found someone more deserving. Honestly, like, this guy was really nice, and what the heck was up with his wife being that way? Like, ma'am, you need to lay off the meth or crack or whatever you were doing at the time, because it was very clear she was on something, trust me. And like, work on your self-confidence, because like, come on now, you don't need to be that way, come on. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story / drive with me, and I'll see you in my next video. I have social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and all of that is in the description below. I also have a Patreon because, you know, in case I didn't make it clear in this video, I am a musician and I post like unreleased stuff and sneak peeks and all that fun stuff on my Patreon. So if you'd like to support me, you absolutely can for as little as $3 a month. My Patreon is also in the description below. Once again, thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next video. Bye!